I want to talk about your current role because I think as with a lot of the C-suite positions, the role of evangelist at a company can mean something completely different from company to company to company. So I wonder if you could sort of talk me through an average day in your current role as head of cybersecurity evangelism at AT&T Cybersecurity. Are there certain responsibilities or sets of roles that you're doing every week and current tasks, or is it completely different from day to day?
I'm so glad you brought that up, that the idea of evangelist changes from company to company.
For
And I
sure.
am so fortunate at AT&T Cybersecurity because this role is far more encompassing than what you might find in a traditional analyst role. So as part of this analyst or evangelism role, what I do is I lead our thought leadership program. So we create thought leadership. We have thought leadership products that we publish once a year, and then we have
Okay.
derivative works that we create from those. As an evangelist, what I do is I go out and I speak about that thought leadership to get the message out to the market. I do a lot of internal work as well, evangelizing that idea of thought leadership about what's coming next. And what's coming next is really the 1 to 3 year horizon. It's
Okay.
not, let's look in the crystal ball and see what we're going to be doing 40, 50 years from now. It's let's get organizations prepared for what is coming in the next, a foreseeable time frame, 12 to 36 months or so.
Mhm.
And also as head of evangelism, I'm very fortunate I get to do so much work with on the PR and social side. So a lot of the communications going back to some of those things that I love. So working with our PR team, doing press media interviews like we're doing here now,
Mhm.
and also working on the messaging, again from the language perspective, being able to pull in the top level messaging of what AT&T cybersecurity is all about, who we are, why somebody would want to engage with AT&T cybersecurity, what our
Mhm.
unique value proposition is, and so on. So those are some of the things that are really encompassed in what I'm doing today as head of evangelism at AT&T cybersecurity.
Okay. Yeah. Now, can you talk about like what you're sort of like where are you locked in terms of the company? Like, I guess who in AT&T cybersecurity are you evangelizing to? And you mentioned, the PR department. You're working with sort of media and messaging and so forth. But like when you said you're evangelizing the idea of certain near future technologies and so forth, who's like what parts of the company are you specifically doing that, or is it sort of like dispatch from Teresa, here's what's going on in the world?
So there are two components to that. The first is internal, and I'll take internal first, and then the
Sure.
second is external.
Hmm.
So internally, AT&T is a big company, as I think everybody knows.
For sure.
And AT&T cybersecurity internally, when we get new thought leadership information, I'll certainly present it to our AT&T cybersecurity team. But then we have other parts of the organization that are extremely interested in what we're doing from an AT&T cybersecurity perspective, especially from the thought leadership research that we do, because our thought leadership research it's empirical. So we go off and we do quantitative research surveys around the world. Uh, we look at companies of different sizes, different titles inside of those companies, and so on. So that quantitative research helps a lot of people inside of AT&T. So I'll go off and present to sales teams, to technical teams, to other marketing teams, just to let them know what AT&T cybersecurity is doing from a thought leadership perspective. And then externally, I'll speak with members of the press. I'll go off, I'll
Hmm.
speak at conferences. We're starting conference season now. We have the
Oh
big
yeah.
security conferences coming up, RSA and Black Hat. RSA, of course,
Hmm.
in May, and Black Hat in August.
Yep.
So I'll go off and I'll speak at those conferences. Our PR team will go off and say, okay, let's meet with these members of the press who are going to be at these conferences, and let's talk about what you've found in your research. We also have our sales organization is incredible here at AT&T Cybersecurity. So I go off and I speak to a lot of our clients, a lot of our prospects about what we're finding through our research, about the types of things that organizations should be looking for. And from a thought leadership perspective, there are stats out there, independent stats, that show that 9 out of 10 decision makers inside of an organization want to consume thought leadership from a company before they say we're going to do business with you.
Right.
So this idea of going out and talking about thought leadership, our quantitative information that we've been able to get back and we produce in the form of a report that is vendor neutral, which is so critical. Mm-hmm. It's forward looking and it's actionable. So those are the types of things that I do both internally as well as externally.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've never really thought about the idea that if a vendor is looking to work with you, they want to get a sense of what AT&T is thinking about as much as like what they're offering.
Most definitely.
Have you seen Work Bites, the new security awareness training series from Infosec? Our team produced this series with 3 E's in mind, making security awareness training entertaining, engaging, and educational. Just go to infosecinstitute.com/free to learn more about this hilarious office comedy. And hey, let us know what you think about it.